Welcome to our Insights video for our Iceland Volcano trip of 2023. Since 2012, we've traveled and learned. Our channel offers 2 videos per trip, a travel vlog, and the other insights. Join us and be smart, joyful travelers. This is what we're going to talk about in this video about our trip that we took to Iceland to see the volcano. In 2021, the first volcano started erupting and lasted 6 months, but due to COVID quarantines, we were unable to make the trip happen. In 2022, when the second volcano started erupting, we were ready to go. We did a lot of research, but we had to put the trip on hold because the volcano stopped. In 2023, when the volcano started erupting, we were able to take advantage of the work and the research that we had done in 2022 and activate a plan to get there within 10 days. Now we're going to talk about how we made our decisions about where we were going to stay. When we originally did the research, all the information pointed us to the capital of Reykjavik, because that's where most people go. But I realized after looking at a map that the international airport was in Keflavik over further west, and there was plenty of lodging and Airbnbs in that area, and it was actually closer to the volcano. So that's where we decided to stay. On the off chance that we were not able to actually go see the volcano in the southern portion of the peninsula, I went ahead and identified other things that were easy and interesting for us to see. The black items denote waterfalls. The red items show where we could potentially see the northern lights. I used this Google My Maps app in order to map that out. We learned from 2022 to watch this chart specifically to see what is going on with the volcanic activity. The blue line shows major earthquake tremors. The purple line shows the sound of the lava, and we knew that if the purple line went down that the eruption was going to stop. So we had to watch that chart carefully before we left to make sure that we were still going to be seeing an erupting volcano. The chart on the left is what it looked like the night before we left. The chart on the right shows the volcanic activity stopping around August 4th. All of our plane tickets and everything was bought refundable, so if we saw a dip like that the night before, we probably wouldn't have gotten on the plane. That was some of the data we looked at. Now let me show you others. I found a specific website in 2022, the safetravels.is, that showed exactly what was happening with the volcano and in country, and that proved to be invaluable. This site also notified if the site was closed or open as a result of the safety officials making new decisions. From a Facebook group that I joined for Iceland volcanoes, I discovered this site that helped me understand the weather and the conditions at the site, and I watched that very closely. From Twitter, I got turned on to a gas emissions site, which is important because I wanted to make sure we were safe. And we saw how other people were protecting themselves and did research around that. I created a list on Twitter of these people so I could follow and see what they were saying. I had also found YouTube channels from the previous year, and this gentleman, Roman, did an amazing job of showing what it looked like on the ground and from the air. Isak did amazing drone footage so you could see exactly what it looked like from the air and what the area looked like as a whole. And Afar TV provided real-time live camera shots from 3 different angles so we could see what was happening at any given moment. Up until the night before and the morning of, I was watching local conditions. I found this map on the different social media sites that I follow, and we had planned to take the blue trail all along from the right-hand side, but realized the day that we were flying that we were going to have to take the harder trail on the right in order to see the volcano. So now let's talk about how we prepared for the trip. Because the hike was 6 miles each way and we were unaccustomed to hiking that long, we had to be very careful about what we packed and in terms of weight, and also what supplies we would need for such an adventure. Then we dumped everything on the bed and started figuring out how it was going to go in the bags. We didn't want to bother too much with food on the trail, so we went ahead and just pre-packed everything and took it with us. My sister turned us on to something called goo, and we did end up needing to use that on the hike back. My backpack was 16 pounds and Dennis's was 20, so we loaded up our packs and did walks each day before leaving. These were the items that we packed that made this trip so much easier. Links are below in the description. Here are the items that we packed in but ended up not using. It took us 3 hours to hike 6 miles each way, and it was a huge hike for us. Although the elevation gain was only 800 feet, we ended up walking up 4,200 feet and over 40,000 steps to complete the entire hike. It was a big hike. Now let's talk about some of the items we do for international trips each time. On this side, I was able to register us so that they knew that we'd be in country. I also filled out the forms on the STEP website at the State Department so the United States would know that we were out of country. Even though this was a quick 4-day trip, I always use travel insurance if only for medical coverage. It was an amazing trip, one that we will never forget. And we also got a little R&R at the Blue Lagoon, and we can't wait to go back to Iceland to see it as a whole. Also check out our trip video for this trip, and you can also see other trips that we've taken on our YouTube channel that you found this on. Please like and subscribe so we can continue to provide this information to you, and let us know what you like the most about this video in the comments. That will help drive our future videos.